Hi, welcome to She Speaks Bravo. I'm Emily. I didn't mean to put a question mark behind that. I'm Emily. That is a definitive statement. And today is Southern Charm Day. So, a little bit of toxicity, a little bit of pettiness, not too heavy. Anything but Beverly Hills, I say. It's been a lot this week with Beverly Hills. I am burnt out. Did you guys watch the Army Hammer documentary? Okay, wait, hold on. We will get into that. But before we get into all that, if you are not subscribed, let's get subscribed. I'm covering Southern Charm, Beverly Hills, Atlanta, soon to be Salt Lake City and Potomac. And if you're already subscribed, love you, mean it. Let's get into the recap. My name is Emily, and I have been watching Bravo TV as a form of self-care for over a decade. Needless to say, I'm a complete mess. Subscribe and follow along for painfully insightful recaps about Bravo, true crime, and other great TV. Hit that bell. All right, let's just get right into this recap. Okay. The episode title. As I was going to check the episode title, I was saying, I hope it's not like Guess Who's Coming to Friendsgiving. And guess what the fucking title is? Guess Who's Coming to Friendsgiving. Oops. It's just so obvious. But I guess, whatever. Sorry. I know I like to be very petty about titles, don't I? Not like mine are all that great that I do for the episodes. That podcast, Bravo Bros, those two straight guys, married straight guys that do Bravo recaps. Brilliant. Great job. Fantastic. It's about damn time. What did they title their last Beverly Hills episode was Ski You Next Tuesday. That is brilliant. Truly brilliant. So I'm not by any means at that level, but just saying. Okay, the episode, we get, whatever, little round robin. Thank you, Reality Bites podcast, for teaching us these cool words. But we land at Patricia's house, and Patricia's lounging by the pool, and Whitney brings out wine, cheese, and French bread, as Patricia calls it. But Whitney did not meet the standards. He brought out paper napkins. You know better, Whitney. And he said, well, we're by the pool. What did you want? Linen napkins? Of course. Then Austin calls about Friendsgiving, but Whitney, he's going to be in Texas, but Mom might be interested. So fax us the guest list. But Patricia, she says, listen, I'm closest with Madison and Naomie. Are either of them coming? And Austin says, well, Naomie's coming. So Whitney, I can't believe you're going to make Naomie go stag. But the way Pat processes this, her face, she's like, why is that? And Austin's like, you mean his latest fling? Huh? The way she processes it is so funny. But then we cut away to Naomie talking to her mom about this. Such a strange parallel scene or whatever. Naomie's then talking to her very cool French mom. And she says that she stayed an extra night in Aldbrass with Whitney. Again, I'm glad that we're not going to be forced to see a lot of this couple play out on TV because I don't want to see it. Okay, I don't want to see it. I'm glad that she's embracing it and going with the flow, but I don't need to see it. Okay, no, thank you. But her mom is on board. She likes that he's older, and then they have a little sex talk. And okay, thank you very much. But her mom's cool and French and awesome and gorgeous. and like untouched and not like facelift and Botox and just, stunning, right? Back to Patricia's though, the way this is exactly how I would imagine this conversation. She goes, "So, you and Naomie." That's it. And he's like, "Yeah." And then, again, she does this like, "Well, I'm going to kick the bucket soon, so get married." And I'm like, again, why do you care if he's married? You're not. You clearly balk traditions. So don't you? She should be pumped that he's living his life happy and free. And what does he literally need a girl for? Huh? You've also seen that he likes really much, much younger women. So what do you think? Why do you want him to marry one of them or ruin their life? I said it. I said it. But she does throw in that Craig may kill you on the spot if you get married. And speaking of Craig and Paige are on their way to the store. They're driving to the store. And this conversation is okay. So clearly, okay. Paige has been fuming since Naomie pulled Craig aside at the party. So, okay, I'm going to go on a little bit. It's not a total tangent, but it's kind of like I'm going to go a little deep divey into how we got here. Okay, this is where we're going to. Okay, so I'm going to be Paige. Okay, I'm going to be Paige right now. So I'm Paige, and I'm this like I have to pretend like I don't totally care about anything because I'm like the cool girl who like doesn't get too attached to things and like whatever, like that's my thing. But I'm like into Craig. I'm definitely like into Craig, but like we're not exclusive. And I know all about Naomie because I know from the show that Naomie's the one that Craig, it was heartbreaking. That's the one that got away. He couldn't understand why Naomie broke up with him, and he's just gutted over it, right? There's that. And I meet Craig. He then is hooking up with Kristen, it turns out, and some other girls. And here I am on Summer House. This happens on camera. And at some point, Craig and Naomie hook up. And now this person who I'm a little insecure about already, because I know that like that's the ex. And we all know that type of person in our crush's life, like for like that's the ex. And turns out like they hooked up. And so you're trying to be cool with that person. And then you hear from your guy like that he's thinking it's cool for them to like go get coffee sometime and like hang out and be friends. And you're like, no, that's actually not cool at all. Absolutely not. And he's like, okay, got it. Then the next time you go to a group event, that girl pulls him aside at a party. And the next thing you know, Craig is coming out of that room pissed off and telling you that she was like, look, if you don't want me to come around because you're uncomfortable when your girlfriend's there, like I won't. And so she's like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like that you guys have some sort of secret relationship. And so that's where Paige is right now. Who knows what else Craig is saying? Like maybe he's embellishing other things, but that's where Paige is. So I'm trying to, even though I don't love Paige, that's where Paige is right now. Okay. And so she asks right away, is Naomie going to be at Friendsgiving? And Craig is like, yeah, but like she's with Whitney now. So, and then he's like, she's a little lost, she's just a little lost right now. And Paige says, yeah, well, if I was banging Whitney, I'd be thinking about you too. Fuck does that mean? it's odd that it's being framed as Naomie's with Whitney because she wants to be with Craig. That's what's odd. You know, but I get that she's probably so like following that incident where she at Patricia's house, following that, and then she finds out that Naomie's hooking up with Whitney. Paige probably took that to Hannah and was like, and then now she's hooking up with Whitney, and they were like, oh, she's doing that just to stay in the group, so that, you know, like she has an in with the group still. So that's probably where their heads are at. Okay. And Craig is now spinning the narrative, which is inaccurate, but he's acting as if, even though as soon as he communicated kind of that he, you know, leave us alone, basically, even though he hadn't communicated that correctly, he went from being like, hey, we're cool, we can totally talk, to suddenly the silent treatment. And Naomie was like, what changed? Was I supposed to stop talking? I didn't know. What are the new rules? Like, just tell me. And instead of telling her, he's like, how dare you talk to me? But that's because, you know, he's Craig. So now he's now doing this, like, as long as this means Naomie is going to back off and leave me and Paige alone, then I'm cool with it. Okay, so now it's, thank God she's going to leave us alone, right? Sure, Craig. Okay. But then he even says, well, look, you know, I was actually, Naomie and I were cool in all brass, and Paige is now, she's full mean girl spin. Well, she's just doing whatever she can so that you'd be cool with her. Okay. You're so stupid. And then now we get them going into the freaking grocery store. And this whole moment is really, oh God, I get it. They are so beautiful together. They look like two people who were literally meant to get together. I get that. I do, but I am not blinded by their beauty. Okay. I am not. Because he says, you know, this confessional, this whole look when he's in this specific confessional is very sociopathic. Like, it's not authentic. It's not grounded. He's even doing weird mannerisms. It gives me the creeps. The way he's like, because we're long distance, these little things, you know, it's like the little simple things that I really like to do, you know, like going to the grocery store. And I feel like if you can go to the grocery store, then you're a good couple. Oh my God. Oh my God. And he thinks he's being profound and deep, but no. And so, but I mean, they're so damn cute in this grocery store that I'm sure all the Paige and Craig fans love this scene. And I have it. Oh my God. Listen to me. Listen to me talking like I know anything about relationships. I don't fucking know. Who am I? Listen, we're going to suspend reality while I talk about them and act like I actually know what I'm talking about. Okay. Because I'm aware I don't. All right. Who am I to judge? I'm just saying, going to the grocery store, it's not some magical marker. It's just that you guys have a long distance relationship and you're a new couple. Okay. That magic will wear off and just become a practical thing that you have to do. All right. Next up, I was actually really annoyed that they had Venita in this scene because I wanted to see Madison just work out like full hardcore. Venita could have come later. It was really funny though. And actually I take it back. Maybe I was happy to see Venita doing it because Madison made it look easy. Never mind. I take it back. Madison made those rope things look easy, but those things are not easy. Okay. She made them look like they were nothing. She works out 5 to 6 times a week and maybe twice a day. Okay. That makes me feel good though, because her body is so ridiculous. And it's like, that's because she earns it. It's not like it's just genetics, or at least she's not lying about it. She owns 100 pairs of leggings, 50 sports bras, 10 sneakers. Girl, get it. But anyway, so she's like doing the ropes and she makes it look so fucking easy. And Vanita is tying her shoe for a really long time. She's not even talking. And I was like, is she just ignoring them? But then when she's trying to talk, she's like, I just need a minute. I'm like, okay, that actually is a good reminder that what Madison just did is next level advanced. Okay. So they're done with the workout and she's talking about the wedding. And it all feels way too good to be true. I'm sorry. When she said that Hudson said that Brett does a good job of parenting me. It's like, I don't know if I buy that. I don't know. I don't know how kids talk. Maybe I'm just being cynical. But if they're having a small wedding and it's going to be a good time, and she says, I know where the party's not going to be, Austin's Friendsgiving. And turns out Vanita was not invited. And I have a feeling that that's going to sting a lot of the audience. This one just feels like Vanita isn't close to anybody else in the group. Like she left Aldbrass early. Like that was just the wrong move. It seems like she's only really harnessing a relationship with harnessing. Is that a phrase? What the fuck? Seems like she's only, I am so without words today. It seems like she's only really nurturing, there it is, her relationship with Madison. I don't know. I know that the guys were mad at Vanita for a very petty reason. I guess she did a live and answered someone's question about the guys. I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't anything that bad, but she said something semi-negative about them. It wasn't glowing, and they were mad at her, which is really petty. But I don't know how I feel about this. It just sort of feels like she doesn't really connect with this group. Like, why did she leave Aldbrass early? Leva, fine. She's got a kid. That is fine. But Vanita, it's like, if you just want to go home, and I would do it because I like my bed. And that's why I wouldn't be good as a cast member. But that's why I was upset last week when she did that. It's like, well, that you're not staying in the game. You know, if you had stayed and been there the next day and experienced the whole thing, wasn't the next day the egg toss? Am I remembering that wrong? Wasn't the next day the egg toss and all that? Yeah, it was. So she would have been there for all of that and bonded with the group. So it's kind of her own fault, to be honest. So Shep's house, Taylor comes over. They're making the stuff for Friendsgiving. And Shep is in charge of banana pudding. And as he's making it, he feeds little Craig a cookie. And Taylor's like, Shep, don't do that. And she gives him like a really stern look. And a beat goes by and Shep goes, do you want to break up? Oh. And so Taylor checks him and is like, okay, don't make those jokes in front of our friends, because it makes me look bad too. And by the way, like, maybe don't be abusive and verbally abusive in front of our friends either, because that also makes me look bad. Let's keep that just for us. Let's only do that privately, because okay, so now we have the stage. The stage is set. Austin's aunt's house. I'm putting this in quotes because I know some stuff. He's making this, him and his sister are making this punch. My head hurts just looking at it. It's got bourbon, grape juice, bubbles, the fucking champagne or Prosecco. My head is throbbing just looking at it. Meanwhile, though, Craig and Paige are at his house. They're getting ready to deal with the turkey. But before that, Paige is in her black outfit. And Craig is like, you look cute. And she's like, yeah. I'm just like, I had to wear black. I was like, over it. It's like, I had to. And he's like, why don't you wear black down here? And she's like, well, because like everyone is like basic beige Betty here. And like, I mean, I just have to live in my truth. And I don't really, I mean, I guess Naomie And if that's who she's referring to, then why would she care? But I feel like the cast of Southern Charm dresses, like they dress up, like they put on outfits, they get pastels and florals, they give us life with their fashion. So I was actually like, shots fired. You better watch it. Okay. And so anyway, moving on, this turkey bit. Turns out Craig, who volunteered to fry the fucking turkey, has some sort of poultry disorder where he can't touch turkey. So his plan was to what? Always have Paige touch it? What was the plan? But here's what I loved. Paige hates helping. She does, at least on Summer House, she does. And so she has to pretend like she's cool with this because, you know, like she's in denial, basically. She's so stubborn about making this relate, like making Craig a guy that is likable. And this is just my guess, that she's like, though I'm totally cool with like having to be the one to touch this fucking turkey. And then she has to stick her hand inside the turkey and take out the gizzards while Craig, who's the one who had this idea, is like gagging and disgusted. I loved it. I loved it. So back at the aunt's house, Catherine arrives and her dish, I couldn't tell what she said it was called, but it consists of it's meatballs with chili sauce, grape jelly, and ketchup. Okay. Olivia is coming. So Austin's like, okay, here's the update. The update is just the most like basic Austin thing. He's like, so yeah, we were up at All Brass and I said like, hey, you know, I like you and like I like want to be with you. That's it. That's all I got. And his sister Katie's like, I like it. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Great, guys. So Craig and Paige arrive and immediately Austin and Craig are like, wait, let's fry this turkey up. I didn't realize that Austin had never done it and that Craig had never done it. Craig had been a witness to one of these things happening. I assumed that this had been done before, but we'll get further into that. So as the boys are down there doing that, Naomie's walking in. I was like physically terrified as I saw her walking in there. I was like, I want to go. I want to turn the TV off. I was so scared. This reminds me of high school, like going to parties where someone is that you don't want to see is very high school. This is not adult life for me at all in any way, shape, or form. So right away, she's like, Paige, you look amazing. Paige, ice queen, full ice queen. Okay. Catherine won't even hug her. Catherine's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. My hand, like, I can't even turn around. And Naomie's taking out the things she brought. And she's like, I got squash casserole and a salad. And Paige, I don't like that. I don't even, ugh. And she is blatant. Like, I don't think I have this level of bitchiness in me. Maybe I did at some point because these people are much younger than me. So maybe I can't remember. I probably did, to be honest. But she is the way she's sipping her water. Naomie's like, oh, Paige, like, when did you get in town? Or did you just get here? Or she's just trying her best. And Paige is just no, giving her nothing. So now we have the turkey frying process. And as Austin's pouring the oil in, and he's already started. And now Craig is like, make sure you don't let that splash on the sides. And Austin's like, well, you should have absolutely said that before I started because there has been splashing. And Craig says the margin of error here is small and the turkey could possibly explode. And Craig is like, yeah, you know, people are usually doing this on their deck. And then, you know, they're stupid because their deck catches on fire. And Austin literally like looks at producers like, how are you letting us do this at this house? How did you allow this to happen? And so Shep and Taylor, they arrive, and Shep makes some joke that Paige is racking up those sky miles. And Shep's banana pudding is a hit. They're like, oh man, he's like, yeah, I thought this is the cutest dish that's ever been made. And they all laugh. And all I'm thinking is, have you apologized to Naomie for the way you spoke to her? Because it was unacceptable. Probably not. I guarantee he did not. But I might be wrong. I mean, watching Austin and Craig try to light this flame, Austin and Craig trying to fry up a turkey was very entertaining. Okay. As much as Craig is an asshole, I can still be entertained. Craig needs Austin to be likable. Okay. So Austin and Craig are trying to light the flame and they need a shield. And then they get that oil on top and boom, it's working. I mean, it was a likable moment. So Leva arrives and then Olivia arrives. And now we're all in this kitchen and I'm realizing that this is where Paige looks overwhelmed. She's looking, everyone's talking, everyone's friends. And this gave me anxiety. Like this would feel over, like, because Craig is her one person that she knows here. And so he's downstairs. Like, oh, this is a lot. This is asking a lot of her. Now she's on camera. Ooh, that's a lot. So Shep goes down and checks on the boys and they discuss, I'm so glad that they brought this up, but they discuss Craig's tendency for pretending he knows how to cook things that's very intense, like smoking ribs or frying a turkey. Like these aren't things that are easy to do, but also ambitious and successful. Like I'll give him that. So Craig goes inside and it's incredibly awkward. Incredibly awkward. And Paige is like, do you want me to get you a drink? And he's like, oh, maybe later. And Naomie just looks defeated. And when he's walking back down the steps, Austin is like, that's cozy in there, huh? And Craig's like, I don't know. You made the guest list. And I was like, oh, damn, Austin. Like, was that intentional? Did you do that intentionally? So Paige and Catherine, they go downstairs and they talk. So this is embarrassing, you guys. Like, Catherine, you have not been around enough. First of all, she doesn't even know what Paige is really talking about at first. She kind of Catherine thinks that Paige is talking about her drama, like Catherine's drama with Naomie. So she's like, Naomie, you're not bullying anyone. We're not friends. And Catherine's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't like her because of what she did to me. But then when Paige says, you're trying to get with my boyfriend, Catherine's like, oh, wait, what? And like Catherine, up until like this point, truly had no idea. But now she's on board. She's like, oh, yeah, fuck her. Now we hate her. But it doesn't land. Catherine, you kind of you look like a planet out of orbit. And now you're just landing here. And now you're just egging Paige on because, I don't know, you just want someone else to hate Naomie. And Paige says, if I were with my friends right now, I would have already popped off. Like, okay. But okay. So now we're with Olivia and Naomie, and Naomie's like, it's weird because Craig like turned his back when he went inside and I was about to say hi. Now we're going to now live in Naomie's world. Okay. I did Paige earlier. Now we're going to live in Naomie's world. So Naomie, she has the heartbreak with Matul and she's like, hey, Craig, like I'm back. Is it cool if, I come back to the show and film? I know this is like, I just want to be respectful. And he's like, yeah, honestly, it's cool. It's totally cool. Like these are your friends too. It's fine. And then they hook up and she, it wasn't her like mind that wanted to get back with Craig. It was her vagina. she was like, I'm heartbroken. We just had sex. Pretty sure we could just get back together. That would be the quickest fix for these feelings of heartbreak. I can just get back together with Craig. And then here she is. I'm thinking, I'm like, cool, I'll just get back together with Craig. Then you're filming. Okay. You're filming. You're keeping it a secret that you guys hooked up. Okay. You're not totally sure about the state of the relationship of Craig and Paige. You know kind of what the dynamic is between you two. Then you find out from his friend that Craig was actually like, yeah, no, I wasn't really feeling it. It was kind of like, glad that's over. On camera, then Craig is like, no, that's not what happened. But you know what we had? It was great. And you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. I am being rejected on camera by my ex. Oh my God. So you get the picture. You're like, okay, got it. All right. Then you snap out of it. Then you're like, okay, all right. Like, it's over. Like, I was just a moment of weakness. I'm not myself. I am a mess. I was just kind of heartbroken and I thought this is familiar and, you know, got it. So then Craig feels bad. So Craig is messaging I'm acting like I'm Naomie. Craig is messaging me like, hey, I'm really sorry about that happening with Austin. Austin should have never told you that. I didn't say that. I'm really happy you're in the group. I'm happy you're back. I'm happy that you're, feeling better and like getting your feet back in Charleston. And, let's get coffee sometime. Let's hang out. We're cool. Great. And if I'm like, I feel okay. I'm glad he sent that. I feel better. Okay, cool. At least like he's not, upset with me or trying to like get me to leave. Like at least he doesn't regret letting me come back in the group. Then I'm at a party and Catherine's boyfriend says some really horrible, nasty shit to me. And it's alarming, but I can't tell Catherine because if it comes from me, it'll be bad. So I want to tell Craig, and I figure, well, we're filming a show and this would probably be good to do on camera. So I take him up on his suggestion that we get coffee instead of telling me, hey, look, actually, I talked to Paige. And in fact, Paige isn't too excited about us getting coffee. And I think I should respect that. To which I don't think Naomie would have necessarily handled it great. I think she might have been thrown off and it might have freaked her out a little bit. But at least it would have given her a clear line of communication about the status. Like things have changed. Paige and I are actually committed and she isn't cool with us hanging out. Instead, he goes to coffee and there's an abrupt shift. And it's instead of just talking normal, he's being super weird. And I am like, wait, what happened? No one told me there was if you need it to change, just tell me. And then the next time I see him, it's at the dog wedding. And I'm trying to be cool with Paige, but I'm like overdoing it and I'm being weird. And Craig has clearly told Paige that I forced him to get coffee, but that's not the case. I didn't know we couldn't get coffee. But like, if that's not, because then at coffee, don't forget that when she said, yeah, let's all go out and go hang out. And, when Paige is in town, let's all hang out. And he's like, that's not going to happen. That's not cool. Like, we're together now. Like, you can't do that. Oh, okay. So now I'm trying to piece together. So I'm caught off guard, right? I'm Naomie and I'm like caught off guard. So I don't get where I'm just trying to figure out where do I stand? What do you want me to do? Do you want me not to come around? Do you want me to leave the group? Do you regret having me come back here? What do you fucking want from me? So instead of just, he wants me around just so he can be mean to me. Like, I don't get it. So all of that to say, now we're back at Paige and Catherine, and I'm going to play the clip of them talking.
She does some shady ass.
Thank God you see it. Oh my God.
So when we were at Patricia's for the dog wedding, she pulled him aside. That is one of the most inappropriate things ever.
She's so like shameless though. Like if that was me, I would be walking in here with egg on my face and I would be really embarrassed. Like I wouldn't just be walking around like, hey guys.
I would just never have the balls to pull someone's boyfriend aside. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd be like, damn, I'll send a secret text like a normal person.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I actually feel like you and Craig are kind of like perfect for each other.
Oh, thank you. As long as you don't try and get coffee with them, then we're cool.
It's a very immature conversation. And Catherine doesn't even know what she's talking about. She's like, I would just be so embarrassed. Catherine, no, you wouldn't. You're never embarrassed. Catherine, you have shown up shamelessly after doing embarrassing things all the time. Okay. So don't even, Catherine. Okay. She didn't even know what she's actually talking about. Like, yes, Naomie. Okay, look, I know a lot of people have criticisms about it. Like, why did she pull Craig aside? Naomie is not necessarily handling this all that well. She could have sent maybe Craig a text message. I think she kind of wanted it on camera though, because a lot of this has been happening maybe like offline and she's not getting the right information or the same information that she's getting when it's on camera. So maybe she wanted it to be on camera so that she could finally understand like what is supposed to be happening. But we do get a nice resolution at the end, so we'll get there. Craig and Paige keep calling each other baby. And Paige is like, he's in love. The turkey looks amazing. It really did. It looks fucking good. At one point, Olivia and Austin like talk over to the side about like the drama that could happen, but they don't really have chemistry to me. They just seem like two friends they should just be friends. They don't seem like they really they just don't seem to, I'm like, don't bother guys. Like just cause you're the only two single people left. I don't really think that this is like not worth it. The food looks great spread. Oh my God. Shep tosses the wine to Craig from the fucking top of the stairs over the pool. Oh my God. Craig does catch it though. And then he opens it with the most maniacal look in his eyes. And he looks like Johnny Depp is like Jack Sparrow, which is appropriate. They all sit down and Austin gives some speech and Craig goes, do you like me? Austin's like, Paige, you're not the only one dating Craig. And Taylor goes, cheers, babe. I think they would make a really cute couple. I said it. Katie, okay, the only person that says anything, Katie goes, I'm going to try one of your meatballs to Catherine, but I didn't get the feedback. I really would like to know what that meatball dish tasted like. No one said anything. So Naomie keeps trying to take a picture of the whole table, but the back half of the table isn't listening and it's really uncomfortable. And I need her to stop trying, but she keeps trying. And then she's finally like, Craig, turn. And Paige does Paige really say, is this bitch for real? Does she really say that? Then Leva's putting this napkin on Naomie's head and Craig goes, look at the cultural appropriation going on at the end of the table. And Craig corrects him. Paige corrects him. She's like, no, that's like colonial times. And Craig does not hear her at all because I watched this little moment over and over again. He just kind of nods like, yeah, that's right. Does not hear her. And she clearly has to just let him go off because this isn't her group of friends. So she's not in the right place to do too much stopping him, you know? So then Katie, Leva, and Taylor and Naomie all have the napkins on their heads, and Shep goes to take their picture, and now Craig is like, yeah, good luck. You're going to get canceled for posting that. And he tries to get on this high horse about cultural appropriation against the pilgrims, I guess. But sir, this doesn't work for Thanksgiving. All of Thanksgiving is essentially, it's like a cultural misrepresentation or historical misrepresentation. It's a fictional holiday. There was no harmonious sit down dinner with Native Americans and the pilgrims. It was a genocide, and we've rewritten it to be a cute gathering of family and friends. So celebrating Thanksgiving at all is a misrepresentation of a genocide. So you kind of you can't really get on your high horse as if you think about it. Okay, but nice try. But Paige has to just kind of keep him. So she like distracts him with the photo opportunity. She's like, let's go this way, babe. And so they come inside, but Naomie's like, I've got to pull Paige aside, which I mean, this just is balls. She walks into that fucking living room and everyone's sitting on that couch. And she says, Paige, do you want to talk outside? Oh my God, my whole body. And Paige is like, sure, I don't know what we gonna have to talk about. And Naomie doesn't catch it. She's like, I know, right? What could we, like, she just goes with it kind of sarcastically thinking. I think she thought it meant something else, but I was okay with it. And Craig immediately, because he's drunk, he's like, my crazy fucking ex-girlfriend wants to have a conversation with her. And this is where he becomes toxic and terrible. I'm not going to allow this misogynistic narrative of Naomie being crazy to be peddled. She's not. She's fucking not. And in his confessional, he's like, ex-girlfriends from years ago don't make drama with current girlfriends. And she's just not firing on all cylinders. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely fucking not. No. I won't have it. Absolutely. Just because you're not getting what you wanted, which is Naomie stringing Naomie along like, oh, poor Naomie, she's so in love with me, but I'm in love with Paige. That's not playing out the way you wanted it to. So now you're going to keep trying to call her crazy. Like she won't leave you guys alone when all you had to do is fucking communicate. Oh, so Naomie and Paige, leave it to them, man. They do a great job. So Paige tells her, she's like, at Patricia's, you pulling him aside saying, hey, I'm not going to come around if it makes you uncomfortable. It implies that you still have feelings for Craig. Do you feel he treats you differently when I'm around? And so Naomie's like, okay, I feel like you're like sort of coming at me. And Paige is like, you pulled me aside. I'm not coming at you. If I was coming at you, you would know. And Naomie's literally like, okay, whoa. She literally like braces herself, like, whoa, okay, whoa. Like, hold on. And so Paige is like, all right, I'm going to call it out. Do you have feelings for Craig still? And Naomie, like, I think she's so taken aback by it because she's like, how did we land here? She's like, no. But in the confessional, Naomie is who I wish was in the scene, because in the confessional, Naomie's like, I'm sure she thinks Craig is this like shining prince, but this is bullshit. And I wish that was the energy she had in the scene, but I get she's slow playing it. But I just wish she was like, okay, I get that you're under the impression that Craig is like the prince, but no, I don't want Craig. Craig is the one misleading me. Okay. He told me, I'm glad you're back in the group. I'm sorry the whole thing happened with Austin. Let's get coffee sometime. And then the next thing I know, I invite him to get coffee to talk about what happened with Catherine and Caleb. And he's acting like a psychopath. And then maybe Paige could have been like, well, it's because I told him it's inappropriate to get coffee. And I didn't know that. I had no idea you guys had that conversation. Oh, okay. Like, you see what I'm saying? And so Naomie clarifies like what she meant when she pulled by pulling Craig aside, what she meant was I was really more concerned about you. Like if you felt uncomfortable. And Paige is like, well, you should have come up to me. And then I would have been like, okay, I get it. And as soon as Paige realizes that her anger was her version and narrative of things was incorrect, she comes correct. She's like, look, you're my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. We weren't going to be best friends, but like, I wanted to be able to like come to things like this and be like, where'd you get your pants? You know, listen, I think you're pretty and I think you're funny and I want to like borrow your clothes. And then Naomie's like, thank you. And I think you're such a badass. And Paige says, thank you. You have great taste in people. And we get a resolution to Craig's dismay. You know, Craig was like, God fucking damn it. They're making up. God damn it. So it was a great resolution, though. Came to a nice, I love a nice conclusion. And I like that we didn't get it to be continued. Like they didn't start the conversation and it was like next week on, you know, not one of those things. Speaking of next week, Craig is going to be a mess at Patricia. He's going to spill wine on the couch, break a chair leg, and have us fly down. Leva and Vanita, we get to see what drama plays out, something to do with the text message about Madison that Madison sees, and Shep's RHOA profile. So, oh, I don't know. One last thing before I go, if you haven't seen yet the Armie Hammer docuseries, it's called House of Hammer. Two very awesome women, Lauren and Candace, aka BBF Bravo and the Zen Blonde. They were like the pioneers of coverage on the Armie Hammer saga. Also, Ryan Bailey's in it. They are the like commentator. You know, when you watch a true crime doc and the people sit in the chair, like the experts being interviewed, talking about the stuff, that's them because they are experts. And it's a great docuseries, 3-part docuseries. It's on Discovery Plus. I hope you get it. I know not every country has access to everything, so I hope everyone gets it. But it's great, well put together. I already knew basically everything about the story because I was religiously addicted to BBF Bravo and the Zen Blonde, and also Bravo Ducking Bravo. She great coverage of the story too. It used to, when they were first covering it, it was just some little niche thing online to be obsessed with, kind of like how the Free Britney movement started as just this kind of like, I guess, sort of a conspiracy, if you will. But no, it's real and it's been exposed and they made some moves, man. So yeah, go check that out. And thanks for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.